You're so dainty.
Put your hands up. Oh, you have little hands too.
I do.
You're also a fellow, but your hands are still bigger than mine.
They are.
You know what I mean?
You have like child hands.
Baby hands.
Baby
like,
hands.
Literally, I've got.
Before we get this video started, I just want to give a big thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. Your support really means the world to me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Although if you are new here, my name is Hannah and I share lots of recipe videos, yoga classes, lifestyle vlogs, all kinds of fun stuff. Today though, my friend Michelle is back. If you didn't see our first video about processed versus unprocessed foods, I will link that in the description below. But again, if you're new here, Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a nutrition and wellness coach, and I've been working in the spa and wellness field since 1996. So I work one-on-one with clients or with groups to help them live their best, healthiest life. So whether it's around nutrition, sleep, stress management, increasing their energy, stabilizing your mood, anything that's gonna let you be your best, healthiest self.
Nice, yeah. So today we are doing a video about the immune system. Well, not everything about the immune system, because you could talk about that for hours and hours and hours. But today we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are actually within your control when it comes to your immune system. There's so much going on right now that we thought it would be a helpful video for all of you. You might find value in it. And yeah, I wanted to do another video with Michelle anyway. Like, we want to do a whole series, all kinds of different nutrition talks, and yeah.
So let's jump in. So
cool.
I think one thing that both of us find is very important is exercise.
Yeah, we are both very much into exercise, staying active. It's definitely one of the biggest factors in maintaining a healthy immune system. One of the ways that exercise can help your immune system is that it reduces inflammation within your body. We know that inflammation causes a whole array of health issues. We talked a lot about that in our processed versus unprocessed foods video.
Yeah, and there's, different types of exercise and workouts. So there's high intensity workouts that can be like HIIT style trainings. It could be heavy lifting, it could be people running marathons, so more intensity. Your body does release cortisol when it is stressed, and when you exercise, that is a form of stress, but it's a good stress. So you want to kind of figure out for your body the right balance between high intensity workouts and potentially low intensity workouts with things that you do a lot of,
right,
which is yoga.
Yeah, you don't want to get too much high intensity because that can actually kind of do the opposite of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so it's good to have a nice balance between the two. Or for some people, it may be best just to focus more on low intensity workouts versus high intensity workouts. You still get an amazing workout, your heart rate still gets up, you're using every part of your body still, but doing so in a way that's also can be more calming and less likely to produce as much cortisol in your system.
Especially because I feel that a lot of times people are a bit hard on themselves when they start thinking about exercising, and they think that they have to do so much. But then you just kind of end up even stressing yourself out more, which again, we don't want that because that's going to cause more inflammation in your body. So it might be more helpful to think about exercise as a little bit
more of like a release.
Yeah, and just something nice that you're doing for yourself. Not like you have to go to the gym and punish yourself with weights or with whatever you feel, whatever your idea of like a good workout is.
Yeah, I mean, I always say any type of movement is good movement, whether it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be 60 minutes like to be considered exercise, or it doesn't have to be at a gym, it doesn't have to be at a specific place, but any kind of movement is going to be better for your body, and having that regular exercise is going to help support your immune system.
Speaking of that, so I really like having a physical planner, like a paper planner. I'm like obsessed with it. And in my planner, there is a little space where you can write down, like for the week, things that you want to make sure that you do every day, and you can like check them off as you do them every day. And one of the things, instead of putting exercise, I actually recently started changing it to just movement, because I was definitely being a little bit hard on myself, and I realized that, you know what, even if I go and like take the dog for a walk, or just go outside and walk, or just stretch for even 15 minutes, you know, not every yoga practice has to be, you know, 60 minutes, 2 hours, whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that's really important when it comes to exercise is the timing of your exercise.
Sure.
So I know for myself, I recently, in the past couple months, started to do a more intense cardio workout in the evening. And on those nights, I was not sleeping well.
Yeah, I cannot do it at night.
And so like if I'm just doing like some kind of stretching or foam rolling, or even if just something less intense, then I can still fall asleep, you know, as I regularly would. But when I was doing these workouts, my heart rate would really get going. Your cortisol levels are up.
You get kind of like wired.
Yeah. And I mean, and as the day is going on, when you're getting towards bedtime, your cortisol levels should be going down. So if you're working out late at night like that and you're getting them up, it does make sense that that can then disrupt your sleep. Which then kind of brings us to the next topic.
Yeah.
Which is sleep.
Yeah.
And how sleep can be very crucial for the immune system.
Yeah, sleep is so important. And actually, we talked about this. Did we talk about this in our processed versus unprocessed foods?
Probably.
Affecting
every food, because foods affect
because
your quality of sleep.
Yeah, it does. And I think I talked a little bit about how, at least, I don't know about you, but I kind of grew up in this time where I feel like people my age don't want to get sleep.
Yeah.
Like they think it's like a flex to not get sleep. And I love sleep so much.
Exactly.
It's so good.
Me too.
And you really just, when you get good sleep consistently, it like changes your life. You really can feel the difference.
Yeah, and sleep is so important for just everything, like your brain. It's the time for everything to like download and reset and recovery. Like when you're laying down, also it gives your body a chance to for inflammation to go down, which we already mentioned, very important for your immune system to not have this inflammation, and just to, you know, relax your nervous system. All of these things are so important that happen during sleep. So when, like you said, when people are like this whole kind of like, oh, I can only sleep 4 to 5 hours, I've got to get up at 5 a.m., I've got to work before I go to work, this whole kind of mentality is not really conducive to getting quality sleep. You know, ideally at least 8 hours, but definitely more than 6.
Some people, I mean, I do believe that different people do require different amounts of sleep. Some people do require a little bit less, some people require a little bit more, but yeah, I think solid 8 is a pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a complete difference between people who can get 4 or 5 hours and function, as opposed to actually being healthy and your immune system needing that time. So yes, there are probably plenty of people who can, you know, get that 4 to 5 hours and feel okay, but it's really not optimal for what's going on in their body.
It's not optimal. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but like anytime I am feeling a little bit run down, and you know, you can kind of feel when like maybe you're on the verge of maybe coming down with something. And sleep is so important that I know that if I start to feel a little bit run down, if I can get like a solid night's sleep, even a little bit more sleep, then I will wake up feeling great and I won't get sick. But if I'm feeling a little bit run down and I don't get adequate sleep, I bet you I'll wake up the next day with a cold or something like that.
Absolutely. It's so funny because you know how like little kids will like pull on their ears and stuff when they're getting tired? When I start, like when I know it's like I'm definitely run down and like you said, not enough sleep, I start feeling like I have an earache. Like I get like a sensation in my ears.
I will get a sore throat.
Yeah, and then
when I'm really tired,
it'll progress to that.
Yeah,
and then it's like, yeah, if I just, like you said, get some quality sleep, I feel perfectly fine. But it's like I can feel my body's telling me like, you need to lay down.
You need to chill. You need to recover.
And so another thing, most recently, you know, when it comes to vaccines and vaccines effectiveness, there have been studies showing that people that do not get quality sleep the night that they get a vaccine, that it affects the effectiveness of the vaccine. And for some people, makes them not effective.
You sent me that study. Actually, I should probably post that in the description below. That might be helpful.
Yeah. So just, you know, another thing for people that, you know, whether you get vaccinated or not, just to know that, you know, if you do, the night that you do, it's really important that you get effective, healthy, quality sleep that evening.
And I mean, that goes for any vaccine.
Absolutely. And another thing that, you know, affects a lot of women, whether it's when they're that time of the month or when they're going through menopause, hormonal shifts can greatly affect the quality of the sleep that you're getting. So, you know, when it is that time, you know, to be gentle with yourself, allow yourself to rest. You know, if you feel like you have good energy and you can go, great. But for some women, it can be more. I know for me, it used to be pretty debilitating and I'd get pretty run down. How about you?
It used to be worse. It used to be a lot worse. I used to be laid up in bed the first and sometimes the second day of my period to the point where I was completely useless. And now I do definitely try to get extra sleep. I will let myself sleep in a little bit, but I'm tired, but I can deal with it. But I do need to get extra sleep for sure.
And I mean, now that I'm in the next phase of my life with menopause, definitely sleep. When you're up with hot flashes and you're sweating all night. I mean, I went through a period where I didn't sleep for like 3 weeks before I was able to get on some type of hormones to regulate my sleep.
Serious?
But like total
You
mess.
must have been going crazy.
Oh, I was like a mental case.
Like delirious.
Literally thought I was losing my mind.
Oh my God.
And so, you know, not that super unhealthy, you know, is causing major stress to my body. Like I didn't feel like myself. I had major anxiety because I literally was completely sleep deprived. Definitely felt, you know, it was definitely affecting my immune system. I didn't feel well at all. So you want to obviously, you know, pay attention to those things as a woman as well, as those can affect the quality of your sleep. And then of course diet. Diet
yes. We love to talk about diet.
Factor on your immune system.
Yes.
And
as well as everything.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, it affects everything. And I think there are some really key components when it comes to your diet that directly affect your immune system. And that first one being sugar.
I've definitely noticed that for sure. And you know, everybody always, for some reason, we always want to eat like dessert late at night. But
when you're tired.
When you're tired. But that's literally the worst time to eat it. If anything, you should have your dessert in like the middle of the day or something.
Always following a balanced meal. Like have it so it prevents like your blood sugar from spiking.
Sure, that makes sense.
But definitely, you know, it's recommended that for women, 25 grams, which is about 6 teaspoons of added sugar per day, maximum. For men,
you said
29
grams?
25 grams.
Oh, okay.
6 teaspoons.
6 teaspoons.
6 teaspoons. So it's not much, and that's of added sugar. So not sugar that's naturally occurring in fruit, but
that's
actually
like one soda.
Honey, maple syrup. Oh no, one soda is like 40 something grams.
Wow.
It's over 40 grams in a can. So
that's wild.
There have been studies showing that when you consume 75 grams of sugar, your immune system goes down for 5 hours.
Wow.
And so if you are someone who is throughout your day, like you said, a can of soda here, candy there, but there's also sugar in things you wouldn't expect.
Sure.
So you could grab a can of tomatoes or tomato sauce. There's sugar. Bread
or
sugar.
People think like a Cliff Bar is going to be healthy, but
Cliff Bars are one of the worst.
May as well eat a Snickers bar, to be honest.
Yes, it is the equivalent. I don't think of Cliff Bars as protein bars. I'm like, you just ate a candy bar.
If I have to look at a Cliff Bar because it's been a while since I've seen one, but I don't think they even have that much protein in them.
They don't.
No.
It's mostly carbs and it's a lot of sugar. Lots of sugar.
But I realized they just got, because I used to love, I mean, they taste good. I used to love Cliff Bars. But they don't say sugar, they say rice syrup.
Yeah.
then I feel like that's a way of tricking you.
Oh yeah, and that's just it too. So there will be things that don't say added sugar because there's a whole bunch of fake sugars in there that don't have to go on the label as added sugar.
Yeah.
So it can get really tricky. You really have to read ingredient labels, look at where it says added sugar, but also read through and see and get familiar with the other terms for things.
And people just know that one term, high fructose corn syrup, but like I said, rice syrup it's basically the same thing. It's just made out of rice instead of corn.
Right.
It's just as bad. And there's several other, like you said, there's several other very high concentrated like sugar forms.
Sweeteners, sucralose,
yes.
maltodextrin, saccharin, which hopefully isn't in many things these days, but like all the things that say like tall and toast at the end of them are usually giveaways. But then there's other things that just like, I mean, it's a chemical. Like there'll be some crazy looking chemical name and it's actually, it's an added sugar. It's a sweetener. So you really have to be careful because having all that sugar in your system definitely increases inflammation. And again, your immune system goes down. And it can just be little doses. Like if you're just dosing yourself constantly throughout the day, then your immune system is constantly down. It never has a chance to rebound. And also some other things are caffeine and alcohol. So they can greatly affect your ability to sleep as well. So again, you're consuming these, they affect your ability to sleep, and then not sleeping well affects your immune system.
And I'm a coffee drinker, although I've cut back. I pretty much just have 1 cup a day now, but I've noticed, I mean, I used to love to drink coffee like all day, like way into the afternoon, and that would just totally mess up my sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, I've never really been, except when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I was a coffee drinker.
I loved coffee when I was because you felt like a grown-up.
Yeah, no, the only time I drank coffee regularly was when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
My mom would give me coffee and then send me off to school.
She would give it to you.
Yeah, like I would have.
I would steal it.
She would be having coffee, and I would ask, and she'd put like tons of probably milk and sugar. It was mostly milk and sugar.
Yeah.
But like I was a regular coffee drinker in elementary school, but not beyond that. Like not as an adult. I would only have decaf, and it was just like on a rare occasion. I was never a regular coffee drinker, but I do eat dark chocolate on a regular basis.
Right.
And there is some caffeine in that.
Although you probably just have like a small amount.
I try to. I try to, but this is the thing. So there are times when I would find myself having a little bit more, or I'll make my own chocolate, banana, peanut butter protein shakes, and I put cacao powder in.
Sure.
And it tells you right on the package, like this many tablespoons of cacao powder has this much caffeine in it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And so I would then just have to, I'm caffeine sensitive, so I would have to make sure either I'm not having that too close to bedtime, or maybe having 1 tablespoon of the cacao powder as opposed to 2. So again, just making sure that what I'm consuming is not going to affect my ability to get a good quality night's sleep.
To be honest, I know that you are a little like extra sensitive, but I think that everyone is sensitive to caffeine, and I think that we just overdose on it so much, so frequently, that people don't really realize how it's affecting them. Because once there have been several times where I have taken like 3-4 months off of coffee and caffeine altogether. And then when you start drinking it again, you only need like the smallest amount, and you're like,
yeah. I think a lot of people do, a little bit off topic, but a lot of people use caffeine for energy.
Yeah.
Instead of getting energy from their food, getting the proper amount in high quality carbohydrates is where you're going to feel energized. So I think a lot of people just aren't having enough balance in their diet. And so they need these stimulants. They feel the need to have the caffeine to keep them going, but it's like if you were keeping your blood sugar more stable through the day and giving your body enough protein, carbs, and fats.
And getting adequate sleep.
Yeah. You could then be sustaining your energy without having to supplement with caffeine.
Yeah, for sure. And and alcohol. We have to talk about alcohol.
I'll let you talk about that.
Well, we can talk a little.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alcohol, I mean, especially because most of the time we drink it at night, I mean, it turns to sugar.
Yeah.
So you're just ingesting sugar late at night if you're drinking.
So what happens is alcohol can help you fall asleep.
Yes.
But about an hour in, is when the shift is going to happen in your body and then you're awake. And so that's what then makes it very disruptive from a sleep perspective. But of course, alcohol is a really easy way to overconsume on calories.
Yes.
Which can then, lead to other health issues. And just alcohol creates inflammation in the body. I know a lot of people...
extra calories, if you want to talk about cortisol, gaining extra body fat also increases your cortisol levels.
Yeah, and not getting enough sleep makes you more likely to gain fat around your midsection and visceral fat, which is like super unhealthy for your health, for your body. But yeah, when it comes to alcohol, also, there are other effects. So like having alcohol can deplete B vitamins, which actually zaps your energy levels.
Totally.
So there's all kinds of things that can happen when you're consuming it.
Alcohol, not to interrupt you, but I just read, because I did that whole little blog post on magnesium, I just read that alcohol also affects your ability to absorb magnesium, which is a mineral that you also need for energy production.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like a lot of people, including doctors, tell their patients it's okay to drink alcohol because they drink alcohol too. And a lot of people don't want to give up alcohol, and I get it.
And you can't, and if you just tell people that they have to stop drinking, they're not going to stop drinking.
But I don't want people to think like there's really no good benefits. People be like, oh, well, red wine contains this. But you can get those same nutrients from eating food without the harmful things that come along with it and kind of that low level of inflammation. Again, if you're drinking alcohol on a regular basis, when it's a one-off situation, again, it's not systemic. It's not something that's a constant inflammation happening on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And also another thing that we need to talk about is how smoking, not just cigarettes, but smoking anything, affects the immune system. And obviously we know that smoking cigarettes is bad for you. Smoking cigarettes causes cancer, but smoking anything is damaging your lungs. Your lungs are not meant to inhale smoke. And it's going to affect how much oxygen you are getting to your blood, to your brain. Of course, that's going to affect your immune system. And I'm not going to say that I don't ever smoke anything. But I think it's just important to be realistic and look at everything as a whole that we do throughout the day, throughout the week, and see, how many things are really adding up, because you might think, oh, I don't really do anything that damaging or too terrible. I don't want to say the word bad, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you could think that you're living pretty healthfully, you're doing pretty good, but then if you keep a journal and you realize, oh, I'm having, a few drinks every week, I'm smoking lots of weed, I'm also eating ice cream a couple nights a week, and it all
not
adds.
Sleeping well. It's cumulative.
That's the word I wanted to find, is cumulative. That's a good one.
yeah, absolutely. And again, this is like control what you can.
Sure.
So, you want to focus on the aspects you can control. Like if you live with someone and they're a smoker and they're not willing to quit smoking and you're not willing to leave them, then you're going to get some secondhand smoke. Can you control, though, the sugar going into your diet? Can you focus on getting adequate sleep?
Yeah.
Can you get more movement? Like, control what you can and what feels reasonable and good for you to control.
And it's not like we're saying you have to make all of these changes all at once. It can be kind of like a gradual thing where, like, 1 month you just start focusing on reducing your sugar intake, because it's pretty difficult. If you are very addicted to sugar, if you like to eat sugar a lot, it's pretty difficult to just, cut it out.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Have not done that. Have not done it. I think the next thing that we can talk about,
and probably the final one, right?
I believe so, are the different things that are in your social environment, physical environment, that can be detrimental to the immune system.
Yeah, and we might feel like we can't control those, but I am realizing as I'm getting older that we are in very much control of like the people that we put ourselves around, the job that we have, the social situations we go into, things like that.
Yeah, the news media, the information that we absorb on a regular basis. I know for me, over the past several years, I unfollowed so many people and
we were just
businesses
talking
and
about
things
that
on social media. And so I make sure that the content that's coming in is all good, healthy, positive, health related. It doesn't I don't have, can I search out negative information? I could if I wanted to, but it's not going to be constantly being fed to me.
For sure.
So if I want to check the news, because I just want to know what's happening in the world, which I do, I can do that, but I'm not going to be on this constant 24-hour, 7-day-a-week news stream of negativity coming at me. I'm going to control what I see.
Right, and that's one thing that is good about social media nowadays, is that we really can, if we want to, we really can control what we are going to see in our feed. And I realized, I can't remember when I realized this, but at one point I realized that I was following hundreds of accounts that posted things that made me feel bad in some way. Either made me feel anxious or stressed or negative towards myself. And, there's no need to be looking at that all the time, all day. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your immune system.
Yeah, and like you said, also just like the people you surround yourself with. Of course, there's only, you only have so much control over like who your coworkers are, who your family is. And there are going to be times where maybe you have to interact with people, but you can do it in, the amount of time that feels okay to you. So where you go into it knowing, okay, well, this is going to be a 20-minute visit, whatever you need to do to prepare yourself mentally for that time.
Yeah.
I know, like, I cleanse my body with, Palo Santo and like sage, different things, like to just kind of like, if I feel like I've been in a situation that,
where you feel icky.
Yeah. I'm like, I need to just purge this out of my system.
Sometimes I need to like shower and change the sheets.
Yeah. You do what you have to do. Absolutely.
So now that is going to wrap up the portion of this video that we made just for YouTube. But if you would like to learn a little bit more about some of the action steps that you can take that will positively affect your immune system, you can head on over to my Patreon page, where we're going to continue this discussion a little bit. It's only $1 to join, and you get lots of other goodies when you pay that $1 and join me. So I will leave that link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and please like this video, please comment on it, please hit the notification bell so that you actually get notified when I post a new video. And is there anything else that you would like to say?
No. Okay. I think so. I'm like, let's edit that.
Yeah.
Yes, if you would like to also get some more health and wellness tips, you can follow me at Infinite Wellness Consulting on Instagram.
I will link that below too. I'll also link her business info if you're interested in coaching at all. Yeah, so they can get in touch with you. Cool. All right. Thanks.